Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. We are live right now on YouTube as well as on Rumble at Matt Morris TV. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have some absolutely massive news pertaining to what has been going on in Minneapolis. And as a little bit of a spoiler here, as things currently seem, Governor Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have both just completely and totally capitulated, surrendered to President Trump. We're going to talk about that entire dynamic here in just a moment. Today, we also have some very interesting news, hot off the press, pertaining to none other than Hillary Clinton, who is on the cusp of being held in contempt of Congress. That's happening very soon. We also have some news pertaining to Ilhan Omar, who is now officially under federal DOJ investigation. We got the confirmation earlier today. And we have some news talking about the Democrats' plan to shut down the government again. Also, we are going to be talking about these rumors, this drama. A lot of people are saying right now that CBP Commander Greg Bovino has been fired by the Trump administration. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of fake news going around right now. A lot of people that are supposed to be on our side over here on the right are spreading fake news pertaining to Commander Greg Bovino, doing the dirty work of the far left. Maybe they can be called useful idiots in this case. So we're going to debunk these rumors as well. He did not, in fact, get fired. We're going to talk about that today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to really kick off today's broadcast, there's something I want to show you. First, do me a favor, make sure to follow, to like, subscribe, Rumble, YouTube, do it all. Helps a lot, means a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to kick off today's broadcast, I want to double back to something that President Trump said last night on Truth Social. And we need to read through this real quick because it's going to put all of this into context. This is the foundation before we can talk about what has happened today. So let's go ahead and read through President Trump's statement to Governor Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. He issued this late last night as riots were sweeping across Minneapolis. President Trump himself, he said, "I am hereby calling on Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and every Democrat governor and mayor in the United States of America to formally cooperate with the Trump administration to enforce our nation's laws rather than resist and stoke the flames of division, chaos, and violence." And then President Trump, he issued a series of demands to all of these members of the far left. He said first, 1, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey should turn over all criminal illegal aliens that are currently incarcerated in their state prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with all illegal criminals with an active warrant or known criminal history for immediate deportation. That is the first demand. Stop hiding illegal aliens from us. Turn them over. We're done playing games. Demand number 2. State and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens arrested by local police. Turn them over. Number 3, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes. Stop undermining federal law enforcement operations. Number 4, Democrat politicians must partner with the federal government to protect American citizens in the rapid removal of all criminal illegal aliens in our country. Some Democrats in places like Memphis, Tennessee, or Washington, D.C. have done so already. They are working with us, resulting in safer streets for everyone. In addition, President Trump goes on to say, in addition, I am hereby calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation to end sanctuary cities, which is the root cause of all of these problems. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding American citizens only, not illegal alien criminals who have broken our nation's laws. All of these requests are rooted in common sense and will provide the best possible circumstances to make America great again. The Trump administration is standing by and waiting for any Democrat to do the right thing and work with us on these important matters of making America safe, like it is in all sections of our country where we are together working with local leadership and local law enforcement is participating and involved. So President Trump laid this down, public proclamation last night as riots once again were sweeping across Minneapolis. Now, this is where we can go ahead and talk about what has happened today, because it's been a very eventful day. There's a lot of fake news going around right now. The far left, they are doing their best to spread their propaganda, their anti-Trump, anti-America first propaganda. And I hate to say this. Many of our own allies over here on the right, some right-wing YouTubers, rumblers, podcasters, right-wing personalities on X, on social media, they are taking the bait. They are taking the bait that the far left is putting out right now. They are doing the dirty work, the busy work of the far left. Like a bunch of mindless drones they are today. I hate to be rude, but we've got to correct the record. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go through the recent history. Signalgate, 2 days ago, has just completely exposed the entire far left Minnesota state apparatus. The entire country knows what's going on now. The far left is panicking. Governor Walz, Mayor Fry, and Attorney General Ellison are all under federal investigation with all of their information having been subpoenaed by the DOJ. Bank logs, credit card, debit card, emails, text messages, phone calls, subpoenaed, all of it by the DOJ. The DOJ has it. Or if they don't have it now, they will have it soon. Trump, this is what we just read through last night, called all of these guys out directly, publicly, making a series of demands. That's what we just took a look at as riots were raging across Minneapolis again. Now, this is where things get interesting. Today, this very morning, Governor Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry both begged to have a phone call with President Trump. They both, after weeks of trying to give Trump the cold shoulder, calling this guy a fascist, a Nazi, saying we're at a civil war, both of these guys picked up the phone and begged Trump for a phone call. Why do you think they did that? It's getting a little bit too hot for them. The signal stuff is out. They've been subpoenaed. They're under criminal DOJ investigation. They are facing conspiracy charges. They wanted to call up Trump and see if they could make some type of deal. Now, we don't know exactly what was said during these conversations, but we can sort of piece this situation together by looking at the aftermath. What has happened today after this phone call went down? These two phone calls took place. Then what happened? Well, some, not all, but some of CBP, including Border Commander Bovino, they are pulling out of Minneapolis. Some of them, but not all of them. ICE, however, is remaining in the city. Tom Homan, who is a former ICE director, by the way, in 2017 and 2018 during Trump's first term, is set to sort of replace Bovino in this capacity. He just hopped on an airplane flying to Minneapolis. He's going to be landing in Minneapolis tonight. So Bovino and some of the CBP agents are out. And Tom Homan, who is intimately acquainted with ICE, is going in. Why is this important? Because Trump has been very clear for weeks, if not months now. What has he been clear about? He's been saying, Trump has been saying, if Walz and Fry lift their stand-down orders on local police officers, that Trump would then pull out CBP. The only reason CBP was in Minneapolis in the first place, the only reason why DHS flooded Minneapolis with these extra CBP agents is because ICE officers were getting attacked and assaulted by far-left radicals. And they were only able to get attacked by these far-left radicals because Walz and Fry had issued a series of stand-down orders saying, hey, Minneapolis local police, you are not allowed to work or help or provide backup or support for ICE. So we had to send in CBP. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's all use our brains. Let's all think about this. It seems as if Trump has just today effectively crushed these guys. He has gotten them to comply with federal law, effectively overturning their sanctuary city policies of non-compliance insofar as these stand-down orders go at a minimum. To be very clear, the reason why Trump is now pulling out some, not all of CBP, and the reason why Border Commander Bovino is getting pulled out as well, he's the commander of CBP, is because CBP is no longer necessary because Trump has gotten Walz and Fry to renege, to lift their stand-down orders. This is not really that complex. This is not that complex at all. Now, of course, as far as I'm concerned, this is only step one. Step number two is to conclude all of these federal investigations into Ellison and Fry and Walz and whoever else was involved with all of this. These people are criminals. These people are insurrectionists, and they need to be held accountable. That's great that Trump has gotten these people to negotiate to lift their stand-down orders on local police, but that's not the end of it. These people need to be sitting inside of a federal prison cell. The conspiracy case is ongoing with the DOJ. The charges are still on the table. The investigation is still happening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now that we got that out of the way, there's something I need to say here, because there is this insane amount of fake news going around saying that Bovino has been relieved of duty. CBP Commander Bovino, he's been fired. Fake news, bullshit. And I actually have proof. I have information hot off the press. I can prove that I'm right. But first off, let's talk about the fake news, because everybody's talking about this right now. Bovino's been fired. No, he has not. This story originated with a right-wing journalist. His name is Nick Sortor. I actually like Nick Sortor. Generally speaking, he does not peddle fake news, but today he did. He made two big posts that have gone viral today. The first one, he said, Gregory Bovino has now been relieved of duty as Commander-at-Large of the U.S. Border Patrol. I've exclusively learned. So he has said, I have exclusively learned that Bovino's getting fired. He's been relieved of his duty. It all goes back to Nick Sortor here today, and then everybody else has taken this information from Sortor, and they're running with it without doing an ounce of due diligence or fact-checking. Nick Sortor went on to say, he made another post, he said, there is no longer a Commander-at-Large of the U.S. Border Patrol. The position has been eliminated. So not only has Bovino been fired, but his job has been eliminated. And everybody's in an uproar over this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first off, there's one thing I want to show you before I show you something else. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carolyn Leavitt, White House press secretary, literally 6 hours ago. This very morning, we all watched this live together. This is what Carolyn Leavitt had to say just 6 hours ago. Take a watch.
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man, and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol throughout and across the country. Mr. Homan will be the main point of contact on the ground in Minneapolis.
Wow. Imagine that. Once again, this is am I the only one that watches these things? This is the White House press secretary. She is speaking on behalf of the White House. That is her job. What she says is that Bovino is no longer going to be in Minneapolis. Okay, we know that because CBP is getting pulled out because Trump reached a deal with Walz and Fry. They have reneged on their stand-down order, so CBP is no longer needed. And then she goes on to say that Bovino, play it again, is still going to be commander of CBP. Play it one more time.
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man, and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol.
He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol. Now, if that's not enough proof for some of you guys that are losing your minds right now, Nick Sortor himself got responded to by Tricia McLaughlin, who is the Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. Assistant Secretary of the DHS responded just about an hour ago to Nick Sortor, who has been spreading fake news today. What did she have to say? And I quote, Chief Gregory Bovino has not been relieved of his duties. Now, do you believe me? Now can we cut the bullshit here today, guys? Tricia McLaughlin comes out representing the DHS. She says, Bovino has not been relieved of his duties. She responds directly to him. By the way, she goes on to say, just as Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said earlier today from the White House podium. That's what we just watched. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be careful with all this fake news. Listen, hey, I hate to see it when people that are supposed to be on our own side, people that are fellow right-wing commentators, big right-wing accounts on X, when they're out here, they're doing the dirty work. They're spreading the propaganda, the lies that the left wants them to spread. They took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. This is a problem. Listen, we gotta get a grip on this. We cannot be doing this fake news thing here. Whoever is parroting this stuff, get a grip. You gotta wait. You gotta chill out a little bit. We've heard from two representatives. White House Press Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, he's not fired. He is still commander of the CBP. So let's put that to rest. That's what has happened today. Everybody relax a little bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something else I want to talk about here with all you folks. It seems perhaps a component of this negotiation that has been made, pulling out CBP or some of CBP in order to get local police to work with federal law enforcement. There's another thing that Trump is after here. Trump is after the Minnesota state voter rolls. Trump is right now putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Minnesota to hand over their voter rolls in an effort to shut down voter fraud in the state. We're going to take a look at this video right now. Take a look at this.
So you oversee the voter rolls. What kind of information do they contain? What do you think Bondi is after? Are they going after undocumented immigrants who would vote? Although I would guess there aren't that many of them, if any.
Really?
Well, here's what they want. They don't just want the public stuff, which anyone can get, name, address, voting history, stuff like that. What they want is very personal, private, sensitive data on millions of people, namely social security numbers, driver's license numbers, military service history where applicable. And this is already in litigation. Like, we're in court on this right now. They've asked for this information from dozens of states. The vast majority, like Minnesota, have said no.
He says the Trump administration has asked for the voter rolls of dozens of states. He says the vast majority have said no. That's actually not true. 20-something states have handed over voter rolls. We're talking red states, generally speaking. And voter fraud has been found. Illegitimate names on these voter rolls, they've been purged now, thank God. It is 14 left-wing, deep blue sanctuary states, only 14, not the vast majority, only 14 that are refusing to hand over these voter rolls. We're not going to hand them over. That's a little bit weird. And so now there's ongoing lawsuits, litigation with 14 of these radically progressive sanctuary states. That's a little bit curious. Why do you think 14 sanctuary states don't want to turn over their voter rolls to the Trump administration? Can anybody come up with any ideas here? Yeah, it's because they are allowing illegal aliens to vote. That's why. It's because they want their beloved illegal aliens to be voting. They love their fraudulent elections.
There are multiple lawsuits going on, including in Minnesota right now. So that's what makes this particularly puzzling. Why they want it? That's a good question. That's sort of key to the legal arguments here. Our legal position all along, before this weekend ransom note from the Attorney General, was that state and federal law don't permit them to get this data. And so what she's basically asking us for in this letter is to hand something over which we think the law precludes her from getting under these circumstances.
Well, now, listen, bullshit. Sorry, I'm calling bullshit. Listen, hey, if you are participating in federal elections, you need to follow federal law. If you are a state, screw federal elections. If you are a state, if you're a member of this union, of this republic, it's called a republic, you have to follow federal law. That includes federal voting law. You got to follow federal voting regulations. You got to follow federal immigration law. These sanctuary states, I mean, I'm going to say this again. Right now, there are 14 radically progressive, deep blue sanctuary states that are fighting tooth and nail to prevent the federal government from effectively auditing their voter logs. What is going on here? Anybody with half a brain, anybody with a pulse knows exactly what is going on here. These blue states, they are fighting tooth and nail. It's a very simple process. Open up the border, allow these people to come in all these sanctuary states. The sanctuary states are aiding and abetting these illegal alien invaders, oftentimes using federal tax dollars in the process of aiding and abetting these illegal alien invaders. Then they're letting these people vote. We got rigged elections in almost all of these states. It's astounding. Finally, we have a president in the White House sitting behind the resolute desk. He's got the spine to say enough is enough. We are shutting down the border. We are deporting these people. If that means CBP and DHS and ICE on the streets kicking indoors, so be it. That's what we've seen. And finally, yes, we are going to bring back some amount of legitimacy to our democratic system we have here. No longer are we going to allow illegal aliens to be voting in local or state or federal elections. Those days are over. Now, Ilhan Omar got upset about this. Ilhan Omar, she posted this yesterday afternoon. She said, quote, ICE will leave Minnesota if you hand over your voter rolls. Tells you everything you need to know. This was never about immigration or fraud. It was always about rigging elections. This is rich. Ilhan Omar is out here actually saying on Twitter that the Trump administration's endeavor to purge illegal aliens and dead people and people that don't even live in these states anymore, people that move, in an effort to clean up and audit our voter rolls, that is an attempt to rig our elections. It's literally the opposite. Literally the exact opposite. Now, JD Vance chimes in. He says, he retweets Ilhan Omar. He says, quote, we really want illegal aliens to vote in elections and we will riot to ensure that it is so. Do you think that's what's going on? I'm going to like that one. Yeah, JD Vance hits the nail on the head. 100%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have some additional news here about Mrs. Ilhan Omar, Congressional Representative Ilhan Omar. We actually have a very curious update. Take a look at this. Fox News report. Congress today has launched an investigation into Representative Ilhan Omar's skyrocketing net worth after reports of a 3,500% increase. There's her husband. Questions swirl over Omar's soaring net worth as husband's business partner has a history, oh, imagine that, of fraud allegations. So now there's a congressional probe. The House Oversight Committee is involved, probing into where did she get all this money? What is going on here? But also today, you got to peel through this. Trump said something earlier today that actually relates to Ilhan Omar. Ladies and gentlemen, focus. He was talking about Tim Walz and Ilhan and Jacob Fry, but he also, Trump earlier today said something right here. Take a listen. Trump said, additionally, the DOJ and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now worth reportedly more than $44 million. I don't know if Trump was supposed to say this. Trump maybe just let this slip. I don't know. Maybe he didn't mean to say this. Trump said the DOJ and Congress. We know about Congress. That's breaking news. We know they're doing the probe now. Trump said the DOJ and Congress. Trump today, maybe even accidentally, I don't know, confirmed there is a DOJ federal investigation right now into Ilhan Omar. So the walls are closing in on her also. We have a little recap video. Take a listen to this here.
Republicans turning the heat up on Ilhan Omar.
Good.
They want to know how she got all that money.
What your response is to the Oversight Committee launching an investigation into your net worth, you and your husband's net worth. They're claiming that it's risen rapidly. What's your response to what they're saying?
She's got nothing to say. Ilhan Omar is always yapping her big dumb mouth. Now, things are getting a little bit hot here. She's got nothing to say. Probably she's under some type of legal counsel. Probably her attorney here has told her, listen, hey, Ilhan Omar, you got to shut up. You are going to incriminate yourself. You had better shut the hell up, Ilhan Omar.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. All right, Mr. Comer, you were in banking before politics, right? So she suddenly, in 1 year, after being worth a few $1,000s, is now worth $30 million. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, and the way the financial disclosure forms are, there's a big variation. But here's what we know: she went from zero to anywhere between $6 and $30 million in a year. Now, why is that relevant? First of all, I don't know many people that go from 0 to 30 without having a legitimate business. Her husband is in some type of finance business, but we don't know what it is. It doesn't appear to be private equity. It doesn't appear to be venture capital. So we just have questions. What exactly is the business that you're involved in? It was kind of like the same questions we asked Hunter Biden that he never could answer. But then, you know, she won't answer any questions. The Ethics Committee is supposed to investigate members. We're not supposed to investigate individual members, but this business is in her husband's name. So we can investigate her husband, and we are going to do that because we're, as you know, in the middle of this Minnesota welfare fraud. And there's been a lot of accusations about a circle of influential Somali Americans that are benefiting from these financial scams in Minnesota. Her name is on the list. Now, she's going to get due process. I don't know if she's guilty, but what I know is she went from 0 to anywhere between $6 and $30 million in a year, and she won't even answer a simple question like you saw there. What did you do?
I mean, it looks very suspicious when you have millions of the Somali cash just flying all over Minneapolis with no scrutiny whatsoever. Wasn't there also a vineyard involved here? The husband's involved in the wine business?
Yeah. You know, there's a thing called money laundering where people have businesses and they deposit, lots of cash. Again, I'm not accusing them of any wrongdoing, but she should answer a simple question. If any member of Congress is asked what business their family's involved in, I've never seen one fail to answer it. That's not a hard question. My husband has a private equity firm and he's done exceptionally well in the last 12 months. She won't answer that question. And everybody in America suspects foul play here.
Right.
And again, we're going to find out. It's not going to be hard to figure out what business he's in and where the money came from. So that's going to be a central part of our entire Minnesota fraud investigation, because she is the leader in Congress, in the district, in the congressional district where the overwhelming majority of the welfare fraud is taking place. Her name, as well as the Attorney General Keith Ellison's name, had been mentioned as people of interest. I'll put it like that, Jesse. So we're gonna follow through on this, and I think she's gonna have some difficult questions to answer.
All right. Well,
So let me get this straight. In the state, in the city, in the voting district that Ilhan Omar, the Somalian, has been elected to represent, there's all of this Somalian fraud. In fact, her district is pretty much the epicenter of Somali fraud. Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars going missing. Curiously, she herself in the last year has gone from having a net worth of negative $6,000. She was in debt to $30 million in 1 year. And she's representing the most fraud and crime-ridden district in the entire nation, and it's members of her own ethnic community that are the ones that are perpetuating this crime and fraud. That is a little bit curious. I think that warrants a couple questions. I think that warrants a couple questions, to say the least. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we also got some very curious news here today pertaining to Hillary Clinton. And this is going to infuriate you. This is going to piss you off. I want to read something that she posted, Hillary Clinton, earlier this morning. She said this, and I quote, "In Minnesota, scores of ordinary people are bravely looking out for their neighbors, defending their communities, and protesting lawless violence. They are the best of America. Here is how we stand with them." And then Hillary Clinton posted a link to a website called standwithminnesota.com. Okay, so what's the big deal? Let me explain this to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this link, this website, standwithminnesota.com, is the very same anti-ICE website that was being promoted and circulated inside of this far left Signal group chat that has now been exposed. Signal group chat gets exposed a day and a half ago, 2 days ago. This morning, Hillary Clinton comes out of nowhere and promotes the very same website. So why is she doing? What is she doing here? What is she doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, Hillary Clinton is taunting us. That's what she's doing. She is taunting us. She is trying to rub this in our face. This is a wink. This is a nod from Hillary Clinton saying, yeah, we got exposed. Well, I'm going to rub it in your face. You're not going to do a damn thing about it. That's what she's doing. She is taunting us. She's taunting the Trump administration. Now, luckily, we have some interesting developments that are probably not in Hillary Clinton's best interest here. Hillary Clinton is on the cusp of being held in contempt of Congress. She violated a congressional subpoena from the House Oversight Committee. Her and her husband, disgraced former President Bill Clinton. So now they are on the cusp of being held in contempt of Congress. We're going to take a look at a report from Brandon Gill, Republican representative.
I think that every Republican recognizes that what we issued with the Clintons was a lawful subpoena order to bring the Clintons in, to depose them, and you don't get to determine whether you want to accept a subpoena from Congress or not. You are ordered to accept that subpoena. And listen, we've been working for months with the Clintons on scheduling in good faith to find a time that would work for us, that would work for them. We began this back in August. They've been playing games the whole time, and eventually we said, here's when the subpoena is going to be. It's going to be in January. They didn't show up, and the next step, unfortunately, is contempt of Congress proceedings.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about that process, the contempt of Congress proceeding. This is coming up on the House floor very soon. Okay, how many U.S. Congressional House representatives need to vote in favor of holding Clinton and her husband Bill, Hillary and Bill, in contempt of Congress? How many votes do we need to see here whenever they have this vote to hold them in contempt? A simple majority. Simple majority. What does that mean? We're going to need to see 218 votes in order to hold her and her husband Bill in contempt of Congress. By the way, 218, simple majority, is the exact, precise number of Republicans that are sitting in Congress right now. So in all likelihood, I would bet on it if I was at a betting table right now. Hillary and her husband Bill, they will be found in contempt of Congress. In fact, I'm sure a couple Democrats might even vote. If you have a couple Democrats throw in, why not? I'm sure some of them will. There you go. Simple majority, 50% plus one. And then what happens? Well, then that contempt of Congress referral gets sent over to the DOJ. Then the DOJ has to run it downfield and get the touchdown here. Okay, well, once it gets passed off to the DOJ, listen, it's Trump's DOJ. We got Pam Bondi. There's no way Bondi's going to fumble that, right? It's case closed. We saw the Biden DOJ hold Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro in contempt of Congress. They both got 4 months inside of a federal prison cell. Both of them did contempt of Congress because they refused to go talk in front of Congress, in front of the J6 Council. They said, I'm not doing this. I'd rather go to prison. And so they did. Patriots, by the way. Good decision. You got to respect that. Now, the maximum criminal penalty, should the DOJ run this downfield, I think they will. Contempt of Congress, maximum criminal penalty, 1 year inside of a federal prison cell. 1 year, 12 months. That's the max. Alongside, at most, a $100,000 fine. So I'll tell you what, listen, it is entirely possible. I would even, dare I say, likely that both Bill and Hillary will be going to federal prison for up to 1 year and paying up to a $100,000 fine for what they have decided to do. And you know what? Hey, listen, I'll tell you something. If you're 28, 1 year in prison, whatever. It's not a big deal. You got your entire life ahead of you. But if you're 73 or however old Hillary is, if you're 75, I don't know. Somebody Google that. How old is Hillary Clinton? Man, 1 year is a long time inside of a federal prison cell. 1 year when you're in your 70s? That's not fun. She doesn't want that. Let's see. Let's see. Give it time. The ball's in play. It's going downfield right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something else I want to talk about here right now. Okay, the Democrats are planning on shutting down the government because right now it already got passed through the House. They're trying to work this through the Senate. They're going to vote on this in the Senate here pretty soon on a $10 billion funding package for DHS. $10 billion, an additional $10 billion. Now, put this into perspective. Trump's DHS, and by the way, ICE, CBP, these are components of DHS. It's all under the DHS umbrella. DHS already has funding up through September of 2029. Trump was smart about this. This is baked into the big, beautiful bill. We passed the big, beautiful bill. As such, DHS, including ICE and CBP, they already have funding. They're already funded through September of 2029. Years out. We got, what is that, another 3 years? 3.5 years. And so this $10 billion in DHS funding we're talking about now, this is just this is bonus funding. It's bonus. They got more wiggle room. And so the Democrats, they don't want to vote on this new $10 billion in funding, and they're threatening to shut down the government. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Martha. So here's the thing. Even if Senate Democrats are able to block this DHS funding bill and cause a partial government shutdown, it's not going to hurt ICE. That's because ICE already got $75 billion worth of funding through 2029 as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill. But still, Democrats are digging their heels in.
We can't vote to fund this lawless Department of Homeland Security.
We cannot provide another dime to this lawless operation.
How can you, in good conscience, continue funding a department without the guardrails and protections?
I hate.
It is so funny because once again, all the DHS is doing is actually enforcing our federal immigration laws. If anything, it is these far left, radically progressive sanctuary cities that are literally, definitionally, terminologically lawless insofar as they are not enforcing federal law. They are lawless. Insane. The gaslighting never ends from these people.
I hate shutdowns. I'm one of the people that helped negotiate the solution to the end of the last shutdown. But I can't vote for a bill that includes ICE funding under these circumstances.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said on Sunday that Senate Democrats will not allow the DHS bill to move forward. The problem is that DHS funding bill is tied to 5 other spending bills. So if it fails, so do the others. Schumer says he wants to do the DHS funding bill and have it stripped away from the other 5 funding bills. He put out a new statement this afternoon saying, quote, "The responsibility to prevent a partial government shutdown is on Leader Thune and Senate Republicans. If Leader Thune puts those 5 bills on the floor this week, we can pass them right away. If not, Republicans will again be responsible for another government shutdown." Republican Senator Lindsey Graham reacted on X, posting in part, quote, "Democrats are now backing out of a bipartisan agreement to fund DHS, which makes sure our border is secure and our immigration laws are enforced. This is reckless and, quite frankly, very disappointing." And Martha, back out here live a short time ago, a spokesperson for Leader Thune said, nope, they're not going to give in to these Democratic demands. They are starting the procedural process to move this whole package of bills forward, and they're going to try to call the Democrats bluff here. We'll send it back to you.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if the Democrats are able to do basic arithmetic here. So this type of funding package, this funding bill here, which would allow or accommodate another $10 billion in funding for DHS, guess what? We don't need 60 votes. Funding packages like this, you don't need 60 votes. You need 50 plus 1, maybe a vice presidential tiebreaker. So you need 51 votes. Or if you have 50, the vice president can come in, J.D. Vance, and act as the tiebreaker, push this thing through across the finish line. And so a little bit of a recap here. Right now, there are 53 Republican senators Although a couple rhinos, there's a couple rhinos, which means there's 47 Democrat senators, 53 Republicans. You only need 50. It might be the case that the Democrats don't even have the numbers to shut this thing down. Even if they want, they can scream and cry and complain about it. They might not even be able to shut this thing down. And then who knows? We have some wild card Democrats. A guy like Fetterman, maybe Fetterman hops over and votes with the Republicans to keep this thing going, push it through. We got J.D. Vance as the tiebreaker in the case of a 50-50 split. So I don't even know if Chuck Schumer is going to have the votes needed to shut this thing down. He might not even be able to do so. Time will tell, but they will try. They will attempt to conduct another government shutdown. In this case, it would be a partial shutdown. Many aspects, many functions and components of the federal government, they've already passed these funding packages through. So if we have another shutdown, it will not be a total shutdown like it was in November and October. It'll be a partial shutdown. But still, they're going to try to do it anyway. These Democrats, maybe they can't do basic arithmetic. They can't add it up. I don't know. But as it looks to me, they don't have the numbers. Seems like they don't have the numbers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, what I want to say real quick is make sure to like today's broadcast on Rumble and YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. If you have not already, welcome. We've had a lot of new members chiming into the community here. I can tell I see a lot of new faces. Welcome to the show. Everybody, it's a pleasure to have you. Most of you. It's a pleasure to have most of you, that is. At this point, I want to go ahead and take a look at some of these super chats. I want to see what you folks have had to say about today's broadcast, about all of this news that is unfolding today. Today has been a very fast day, and like I said, a lot of people are just getting it twisted. A lot of people are falling for Democrat. What is it? It's like it's International Fall for Democrat Propaganda Day. All of the Republicans woke up today and they said, all right, I guess I'm going to take the bait. Today I'm going to fall for all the Democrat propaganda. We got to be smarter than that. We got to not take the bait, because I see people taking bait out here. They're falling for it all over the place. All day I've been sitting here on my computer. I'm saying, what are these guys doing? What the hell? You guys you're latching on to the lies and the fake news and the misinformation. What is going on today? So luckily, we are here today setting the record straight. That's what we're doing this evening. Good Lord, somebody's got to do it. It's us. We are doing it. Okay, we have a big super chat here from Sapper Jackson. He says, we sent Tom Homan to the north to deal with the ne'er-do-wells as a member of the Black Watch, Somalians. Yeah, he sent him up to the wall. Now he's joining, what's it called? The Wall Watch or the Dark Watch or whatever that's called in Game of Thrones. Thank you. I appreciate that. There you go. Thank you. We have a massive super chat here from, oh, hold up here. That's right. Wait a minute. That's right. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay. I almost forgot my hat. We have a massive super chat here from Jesse Smith. That's a $100 super chat. He says, Matt, thank you for your dedication. People need to be informed or we'll dive right into a globalist version of 1984. People don't realize how close we are to a ministry of truth and a big brother style communism being sold as democratic socialism. Listen, I am going to tell you something, and I think a lot of you guys know this. If the Democrats ever get back in power, if we ever have another radically progressive, White House like we had just recently, you can bet your sweet behind a guy like me is getting banned off of YouTube immediately. Can you imagine if we have a Gavin Newsom, a Kamala Harris, an AOC president? Do you think they're going to let me remain on YouTube? Or do you think they're going to try to lean on big tech? They're going to take a lean on YouTube and Facebook and all these other websites. We already saw them do this. They already tried to do this. They're going to shut guys like me, communities like ours down. Luckily, we've got a great website like Rumble. We've got a website like Rumble, resistant to the pressure. So we feel a little bit safer now than we did back in 2021, 2022. But good Lord, listen, and the reason why is because, like you said, Jesse Smith, that is what they want. They want complete and total control of the narrative. And communities like ours, people like us, we are piercing holes in that narrative every single day, left, up, right, center, northeast, southwest every single day, and they're not happy about it. We are a thorn in their side. So you're right. Another reason we cannot let them regain control of the country here. Another reason, yet another reason. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. I appreciate that. Alexander Carlson says, Tim has some explaining to do. I'm not sure what that means, but hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Andrew Brown, this is your reminder to wear the MAGA hat. We got it on. Patriot mode activated. Patriot MAGA mode activated. America First mode activated. Patriots are in control. Thank you very much. We have a super chat here from Darth Metalhead. Says, Matt, you desperately need more mods. With the size of your stream, you probably need 5 to 10. Thanks for what you do. More deportations, please. Like all of them. He wants deportations in the live chat. We got the deportations across the country. He wants some deportations in the live chat. I don't know. Hey, listen, have we had any rabble rousers in the audience tonight? I don't know. When I'm doing the show, I'm dialed in. I'm doing the show. How has the live chat been? Has it been okay tonight? I'll take a look at it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Matt says, subpoenas. Oh, wow. What next? A strongly worded letter from Bondi. Still not one Democrat in prison or even a trial. I don't know what I have to say to some of you people. Would you prefer a bunch of big arrests in the first half of 2025? Or would you prefer the Trump administration, Trump DOJ, spends 18 months building lock, solid, airtight, bulletproof criminal cases, getting as much evidence to substantiate their crimes as possible by nature of filing subpoenas, which are a big deal, sir, and then dropping the criminal charges and the criminal arrests on the 2026 campaign trail when they will be timed for strategic maximum impact. I'm telling you, you guys can, listen, man, I'm not doing this old black pill thing that a lot of people do. Oh, woe is me. It's over. The republic is dead. Nothing is happening. It's all screwed. Listen, if that's you, then give up. Hey, go vote for Gavin Newsom. Go vote Gavin Newsom. Go vote for Kamala Harris. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know. I'm sick of this black pill shit. I'm sick of it. Listen, Trump's first year has been perhaps the single most productive year of any presidential administration ever in all of U.S. history. It's an undeniable fact. I could sit here for 30 minutes rambling off stat after stat, bullet point after bullet point. 2026. Before you throw in the towel and give up the republic, before you roll over and give up the republic, see the year out. Let's see what happens this year. Okay? That's all I say. That's all I'm going to say here. Thank you very much. We have a super chat here from Harry Thuns. He says, Timmy has said nothing on X, but he can't stop posting on Blue Sky, where he is making it seem he dominated the conversation. Tim Walz, well, he's a liar. He's a dumb liar. He's a stupid liar, Tim Walz. And he's a criminal, and he's a traitor, and he's an insurrectionist, and he should be sitting inside of a federal prison cell. And he just might end up doing that. Thank you very much. Lynn K, he says, Matt, don't know if you're aware, but YouTube doesn't show your live page on the homepage while you're on, only shows your morning broadcast. Have to go to subscriptions. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot of people made their way here. We had, 25,000 people tune in. It seems like people made their way here, so I think it's going to be fine. I think it's probably fine. Thank you. I can't do anything about that. I wish I could. Thank you. Hey, listen, if it was up to me, every single person in the country would have to tune into my shows. If it was up to me, every single night, we would have 350 million viewers. It would be mandatory viewing. This broadcast would be mandatory viewing. Starting today, my first order is the Matt Morse nightly broadcast is now mandatory viewing for every single person in the country. But unfortunately, I don't have that type of power. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Thank you very much. We have a super chat from Tim Poole. From TT. He says, Tim Poole needs to start watching your show. I stopped watching his live shows and started following yours because you have news instead of being sidetracked by a hippie obsessed with graphene. So I'll be honest, I don't have any animosity against Tim Pool. I don't know anything about hippies or graphene. I'm pretty sure graphene is what they use in pencils. No, that's graphite. Wait a minute, that's graphite. I don't even know what graphene is. I'm going to be honest, at risk of sounding like a moron, I don't even know what it is. So, hey, you guys might notice, I don't really get bogged down in all this streamer, broadcaster drama. Everybody's taking shots at each other. This guy said that, and this guy said this, and then this guy said this, and all this. It's all this gossip bullshit. I'm sorry. I just don't really do that. My focus is maximum political impact. I might sound crazy. You might think I sound cringe. I might be cringe when I say this. Genuinely, I believe the fate of the republic is at stake. This is my country. I love this nation, and I am an American patriot. As such, I want to do every single thing I can to help save this nation. And bickering with other podcasters, it's not really accomplishing that goal. That doesn't really do anything. It's not contributing to saving the nation. It's not accomplishing anything other than maybe making money and getting clicks on a video. That's not my prerogative. I am locked in. It is time for American patriots to cut the shit out. Cut the bullshit. Lock in. Patriots, lock in. The republic is at stake. The country has got to be saved. If we don't do it now, it's going to be over. We got to cut the bullshit. So I don't have any hate for anybody. I just don't have time for some of this stuff. Thank you very much. Sarcastic Prodigy, he says, Antifa commies, illegal aliens, and criminals. If you mess with ICE and Greg Bovino, you will get the horns. There you go. We've had a lot of deportations. We need some more, though. Let me see here. Taking a look. Andrew Jackson says, Hillary Clinton is involved in staging a coup. Shocker. I mean, that was like, I saw that and I was like, no way. This woman, this witch, this beautiful witch, brazen, shameless. She knew exactly what she was doing. When she posted that, she knew exactly what she was doing. She needs to be put back in her place. She does. And we might be seeing that. We might be seeing that. Curtis says, are you kidding me? Pam Bondi could fumble the ball if she had glue on her hands. Time will tell. We'll see. We will see. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this entire notion, this tendency to say, well, every single bad person in the country hasn't been arrested within the first 12 months, so therefore it's over. It's over. We're screwed. I reject that. Listen, I've had enough of that. Some of you are still happily dining on that. I want nothing to do with it. I disagree. That's not my mindset. I'm gonna push back on some of this stuff every single time. Listen, the fact that the country is not saved in every single meaning of that word does not mean, in the first 12 months, does not mean that the country's lost, or the republic is over, or the Trump administration is a failure, or the DOJ is cooked, or whatever. Push back. Listen, hey, I'll tell you something once again here. If I look to the left and the right, up, down, I see every single other podcaster out here. Man. It is so popular to be a black pillar, to be a defeatist. I'm demoralized. It's over. That is becoming increasingly popular. Have you noticed? In fact, you know what? If I was looking to make money, I could maybe double my viewership. I might, instead of 20,000, I might have 40,000 viewers right now tuning in. If I was sitting here saying, oh, Trump is a loser. Oh, it's over. It's terrible. It's a failure. But I don't believe that. Genuinely, I do not believe that. I might make more money if I started saying that. I don't believe that. All I can do here is keep it real. I got to be true to myself. And so all of you that do tune in, I appreciate that. Seriously, I do. I appreciate that. I've noticed, listen, every single right-wing podcaster that is more popular than me, has more viewers than me, making more money than me, not one of them is doing what we are doing here. All of them have taken that other route. That's not what I'm about. I'm doing something different. We are here. We are forging our own path. We're not taking that bait. No, I'm not going that way. Everyone, I think I'm on top of all the super chats here. I think I am. Have I missed any? We've got a rumble rant from Renee Savage says, "Bring it on, Trump, as the world turns." The world is turning. The world is turning. Yes, it is. Flynn says, "I worked with one of those organizations, and real investigations can take years. Smear campaigns are loaded with leaks." Listen, look back at the Biden era. The Democrats, they were slapping indictments and criminal charges out left and right. How many of them stuck? Almost none. Almost none of what the Biden DOJ, the Biden admin, they were weaponizing the justice system, the criminal justice system left and right. They were slapping it out willy-nilly. Did anything stick, really? Not much. Nothing really stuck. Listen, let that prove the point here. If we actually want legitimate criminal accountability for all of these anti-American, traitorous, subversive insurrectionists, the cases need to be bulletproof, airtight. Airtight, bulletproof. You got to have your ducks in a row. If you start taking shots and you haven't properly aimed in yet, if you're not aiming in before you start taking shots, it's too late. You've only got so much ammo. Okay? You got to be dialed in, locked in. If you want this stuff to stick, if we actually want these people behind bars, there is a proper way to do it. You got to send out your subpoenas. You got to get your information. You got to build out the case. You got to talk to witnesses. You got to get testimonials. You got to build out the cases. All this stuff has to be litigated in front of a jury. You got to put this in front of a jury. What is a jury going to say? If you can't convince that jury, it's dead. And of course, if Trump wanted right now, he could have a series of short-term wins. We could say, we arrested Hillary Clinton for a week. We have detained Comey, Clapper, Brennan. We have arrested Obama for 3 days. And then he's out because the charges don't stick. And then nothing happens. And then it's over. We better not do that. We need to be smart. We need to be smarter than them. That is our job, to be smarter than they are. We got to keep on doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you all very much. Hold up. Whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. I missed some super chats here. Good Lord. I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's Zeiler, my European viewer. That's a big one. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a massive one. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. LOL. Thank you, sir. Donna Dallas, thank you. Good evening. Good to see you again. Thank you very much. All the way from Dallas. Chicken Nooble says, Matt, go ahead and mod me. I'll deport all stupid liberals back to Blue Sky and Twitch. You know, I will figure out some mods. Okay, I'll figure out some mods. Okay, I'll take a look into it. I'm going to tell you, listen, I'm going to wrap up the show here, but if I had to make a bet right now, by the end of this year, 2026, we are going to have a lot of these black pillars. It's over. Nobody's ever going to get arrested. A lot of these people are going to sound very stupid by the end of the year. That is my personal bet. That is my bet. A lot of these people are going to sound very stupid by the end of this year. We're going into midterms. They're coming up. Everyone, that is going to be a wrap up for today's broadcast. I want to say thank you very much for tuning into the show. It means a lot. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, do it on Rumble and YouTube. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you folks tomorrow at 11 a.m. Western, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to keep on hitting it hard every single day. We are correcting all of this fake news. Today, there was a lot. It was a big day for fake news. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. God bless and stay safe.